Alright, use of funds, section 11, in general, with the purpose of specified in the section, they authorize appropriately but the hazard substance superfund with the established term, so after A with chapter 98, with the internal revenue in 1986, with no more than $8.5 billion with a 5-year period given the date of the enactment of the super amendment of the fund Reauthorization Act 1986, no more than $5.1 billion with the period commencing October 1st, 1991, and standing ending in September 30th, 1994. Such sums shall remain available to the extent of the proceedings and of the Constitution. The special authorization funds appropriated under Title II of the Public Law 99-160 relating to the payment of the hazardous substance trust fund of the President shall use the money with the funding of the following purposes to pay with the government response cost incurred with the pursuant of Section 104 of the title of the including the costs incurred with the pursuant of the intervention of the High Sea Act. Payment of any claim of the necessary response cost incurred with any of the person result of the carrying out of the nature of the national contingency plan established under Section 311 C to of the Clean Water Act amended with the Section 105 of the title of the provided however the such for the cost that may be approved with the state plan certified respond to the federal official. Payment of the claim of the authorized in subsection B of the section finally decided the pursuant of Section 112B of the include with the cost of the subsection 112 of the C3 with the title of the payment cost specified in the subsection C with the section grants for the technical specific cost of the grants under Section 170E relating public participation grants technical assistance leave with the contaminated soil payment of the 19 of the $15 million with the cost of the pilot program the removal of the contamination or other action with respect to lead contaminated soil with 3 different metropolitan area. The president should not pay any of the administrative the cost of expense of the fund unless they suffer the cost of expense of the responsible for incidental the implementation of the title. Internal claims to serve the compensation of the unsatisfied with the under provision section 311 of the Clean Water Act modified in 304 with this act may be asserted against the federal under the title of the other claims resulting from the release of the threat of the release action of the vessel of the facility be asserted against the funding of the under the title of injury the discretion loss of the natural source include the cost of the damage provided and however any of the stuff that claim may be the servant of the president of the trustee of the natural resource over the which the United States with the sovereign right of the national resource of the territory fishery conservation zone of the United States with the extent of the management provide to the United States with any state with the natural resource within the boundary state along with the two management and controlled by the pertinent to the state by the Indian tribe of the United States on the active on the behalf of the Indian tribe of the national resource belonging to the managed and by controlled by appropriate pertinent such tribe and held in the trust of the benefit of the tribe belonging with a member of the subject tribe they suffer the resource of the trust alienation. Or your limitation of payment of the natural resource claim, the general requirement of the national resource claim, and they be found with the unused unless the president determined the claim that it was exhausted the administrative the judicial remedy to recover the amount of the such claim of the person must be liable in section 107. Definition: as you within paragraph of the term of the natural resource claim, meaning the claim of the injury to the destruction of the natural resource, the term that does not include the claim of the cost of the natural resource damage assessment, you the found with the under subsection A that is included the cost of assessing the both short-term and long-term injury to discretion law of the Indian natural resource result of the release of the hazardous substance. The cost of the federal state and the Indian tribe the efforts of the restoration, rehabilitation, replacement, equipment with the equivalent of the natural resource injury to destroy law of the result of the release of the hazardous substance. Subject with this amount, such amount of the provided appropriate that call the program identify the investigative take the enforcement abatement against the release of the hazardous substance. Any cover the according with the subsection M of the section they relating to the ASTSD over the section 104.1 with include the cover the epidemiological laboratory show the health assessment preparation for the toxicological profile the development the name of the registry personnel exposed to the hazardous substance allowing with long-term human health effects for the diagnostic services with the otherwise be able to determine with the person of the population exposed to the hazardous substance in connection with the relief of the suspected relief of the suffering long-term long latency diseases. All right, such subject such to the amounts provided with appropriate action provided the equipment similar oversight overhead with the relay with the purpose of the action of 311 the Clean Water Act. We need to supplement the equipment services available through the contract non-federal entity the establishing and maintaining developing assessment capability for any of the federal agencies involved in striking out with the force the emergency task force or other response teams under the national contingency plan subject to such amount of the provided appropriate action of the scope of the officer program to protect the health and safety of employees involved the response that has substance relief is the program developed jointly with Environmental Protection Agency, Occupational Safety Health Administration, and National Institute of Occupational Safety Health should include, but not limited to, the measures identifying the assessing hazards to the person engaged to remove the remedy of the other response to the hazardous substance may be exposed to methods of the protected workers such as have necessary regulatory enforcement measures to ensure the adequate protection of the such employees. 7. Evaluation call for the owner petition provision with the section 105 of the cost incurred with the president evaluating the factors of the pursuing this petition. Section 105D of the relating to the petition assessment and release. Contracting cover the owner, Section 104A of the cover the contract agreement to enter with the owner, Section 104A of the oversee with the review of the conduct with the remedial investigation feasible state with the undertaker of the personnel of the present cover the appropriate federal and of state oversight of the remedial activity done priority list resulting consistent with the orders and settlement agreement. The acquisition costs for the owner, Section 104G of the cover incurred with the president acquiring the real estate of the interest of the real estate owner, Section 104J of the relating to acquisition property. Alright, 10. Research, development, and demonstration call within Section 311. The call for the carrying out with Section 311 relating to research, development, and demonstration of the amount available for the purpose of the amount with specified in the subsection and with the section 11. Local government reimbursement of the local government under Section 123. The except during the 8th fiscal year period with the October 1st, 1986, with not more than 1/10% of the total amount appropriated with the fund that may be with the assessment per and reimbursement. 12. The worker training education call for the grant for the Section 126G with the Superintendent of the Reauthorization Act of 1986 with the training with the education work with the extent of the for the college to exceed $7 million for the fiscal year of 1986. 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94 awards under Section 109 of the cup of the awards under Section 109 or D. Lead poisoning study of the cup of the carrying out of the study of the subsection F of the Section 118 of the Superintendent of the Reauthorization Act of 1980 retaining lead poisoning of the children. D1, no money with the fund, but maybe with the subsection C1 with the no payment of the claim of the under Section B with the section injury, destruction, loss of the natural resource for the relief hazard of the damage is resolved incurred wholly before the enactment of this act. No money of the fund may be used to pay A with the claim of the subsection B with the section of the expense of the associated with the injury, loss of the resulting long-term exposure to the aim to concentrate from the air, pollutant with the multiple of the source. Claimants again for the president of the fund shall not be available to pay except for the total money of the fund aimed at the time of the claimant to become available only with additional money if it's collected with the property of otherwise the pay of the fund should be total claims outstanding at any time of the current balance of the fund with the president shall pay with any of the claim to the extent of the authorized time of this section fully or in order which they were finally determined. Any official year with 85% of the money of the credit of the fund with entitled to over this act shall be available over the pursuant specified in paragraph 1, 2, and 4 of the subsection A with the section no money of the fund may be used for the payment of any claim under section A3 and or subsection B with the section of the official year with the president determined to all of the funds is needed to respond to the threat of the public release, relief of the threat, and relief of the hazardous substance. No money of the fund shall be available for remedial action over the action of the subsection C with the respect of the federally owned facility, except the money of the fund should be available to provision alternative water supply, including the reimbursement covered incurred with the municipality in case of the involved in groundwater contamination outside of the boundary federally owned facility in which the federally owned facility is not only potentially responsible party. Paragraph 1 and 4B, section A of the section shall be aggravated subject with the subject amount of the provided with the appropriate action. The federal act the president authorized to probably give the regulation designated one or more federal official will obligate the money with the fund, but according to the section of the portion thereof, the president may authorize the delegate the authority to obligate the money with the fund with the settlement of the claim of the official and state Indian tribe that operating with the under contract with the cooperative agreement of the federal government with the pursuant section 104D of this title. The president shall provide with the promulgation of the rules, regulation, respect with the note of the provider with the potential for the impact injected party of the owner and operator of the vessel facility from with the hazard something that has on relief and some of the rules and regulations consider the scope of the form of the note of the which is appropriate to carry out the purpose of the title of the palm regulation of the source for the rules and regulation of the owner of the operative of the vessel which the hazard has been released should provide with notice in accordance with the rules regulations which with respect to the release of the public vessel the person provided with the the notification appropriate the potential injury party until the promulgation of the rules regulation owner and operator in the vessel facility which with the hazard something has released for the provide responsible note of the potential injured party with the publication local newspaper in respective areas. Alright, subsection H, repeal except for the situation required by the action of the irreversible law of the natural resource to prevent the reducing and continuing the natural resource similar to the emergency action may not be used under the act of the restoration, rehabilitation, replacement, acquisition, equivalent, and natural resource over the unit of the place for the size for the person developed the federal agency, governors of the state having such to sustain damage to natural resource within the borders of the belonging of the managed of the parent state of the governing body, but the Indian tribe that has sustained the damage of the natural resource belonging with the managed, controlled, and pertinent pertinent to such tribe of the held and trust for the benefit of such tribe belonging to the member of the such tribe of the size for the resource of the subject for the track trust restriction the alienation adequate public known for the opportunity of the hearing with the consideration all public comment. The president shall have the money with the postal closure liability fund with the postal purpose of the specified in subsection A with the specified the respect that has the waste of the disposal facility liability transferred to such for the fund with the 107K the act of the additional with the payment of the end claim and the appropriate request of the cost of the respond to the damage of the other compensation for the injury with the cost of 107 of the act of any state with the federal law of the resulting relief that has substance from this facility. Alright, Inspector General, each of the fiscal year with the Inspector General of the Department of the Agent of the Instrument and the Leave of the United States for the carrying out of the authority of the actual conduct of the annual audit with all the payment of the obligation reimbursement of the fund with the prior with the official the issue with the fund with the properly administered with the claim and it's being appropriately expeditiously consider the audit shall be include the examination sample agreements of the state with the incorporate with the provision single law that carrying with the other response actions under the type of examination, remedial investigation, feasible study the prepare of the remedial action with the Inspector General so it's made by the Congress for the annual report regarding the annual audit report required under the subsection and this report shall contain the recommendation of the Inspector General of the appropriate if the Department agent of the instrumental United States will cooperate with the instrument Inspector General carry of the subsection stand with the provision of the action permit with the foreign claimant may assert the claim with the same of the United States with the claimant may be asserted claimant if a relief of the head of something occurred with the A with the navigable waters, B with the territorial sea with the adjacent shoreline foreign country with the claimant resident with the claimant is not otherwise compensated with law. 3 has substance role is released in the facility with the vessel located with the adjacent within the navigable water with which discharged and contaminant in connection with the activity conducted under the Outer Continental Shelf Lands Act, the amended and or the Deepwater Port Act 1974 is amended. And Recovery Reauthorization Treaty of the executive agreement with the United States foreign country involved with the Secretary of State with consultation with the Attorney General, the appropriate official with the certified with the such country provide the comparable to the United States claimant. Alright, agencies of the tax substance disease rescue. They should be directly with the agency tax of the disease due to the purpose of the carrying out of the activity described in Section C4 with the Section 104.1 or not less than $50 million per official year of the 1987 and 88, not less than the 55 million official year in 89, not less than 60 million official year over the 90 and 91, 92, 93, 494, any funds made available to which are not obligated at the end of the official year will be available that shall be returned to the fund. Litigation, research, development, and demonstration program. Section 311B for the official year of 1987 and 89, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, not more than $20 million available to the fund that may be for the purpose of carrying out the applied research, development, demonstration program, the alternative, the innovative technology training program, the authorized Section 311B relating to research, development, and demonstrating other basic research such as amounts such as available as until expended. 311A with amounts available to the fund not more than following the amount with the purpose of 311 relating to heads of research, demonstration, training act. Official year 87, 3 million, 88, 10 million, 89, 20 million, 90, 30 million. Official year for the 91, 92, 93, 94, 35 million. More than 10% of the size of the amounts due for the training under Section 311A of the official year. Section 311D for each for the official year 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, no more than $55 million amount available with the funds may be for the purposes of 311D relating university hazard substance research centers. Notification procedure limitations term of the payment that no later than 90 days after the enactment of the subsection president shall develop and implement the procedure that adequate and notify the practical after site they include with the national priority list concerned the local, state, and official with the other concerned parties and the limitations set forth in subsection A2 of this section. Payment claims is necessary response cost incurred with respect to the general revenue share fund in general with the sum of the authorized appropriate with any of the amount of the treasury not authorized appropriate hazard substance. And then it goes over then 87 through 1994 is $212.5 million. And for the authorized appropriate with the hazard substance fund with the official year of the amount with the equal the graduated amount with the appropriate with the subsection paragraph 2 of the section 211 that has the response for revenue after the 1980 that has been appropriately given the official year with involved the compensation amounts involved the appropriate under paragraph 1 of the subsection official year they'll be available examine the amount they exceed the amount determined in secondary under section 95 B2 with the internal world of the 1986 official year. Alright, claims procedure section 112.